Hello everybody, my name is Tom Grist and today I'm going to take you on a tour of my Night of the Dead Horde base. I've been streaming this for about a week on Twitch, and I'm going to be making other videos about how to all of this and all of that, but I thought I would just do a tour of the base first, starting with our creation platform, base, whatever you want to call it. This is where the magic happens. Anyway, so starting off, obviously this is our storage area. We have boxes and whatnot. These are all the same boxes. They're just at different stages of being upgraded. And like I said, later videos I will explain in more detail of how to do all that. But you have your cooking station here. This is where you cook all your foods. And as you upgrade it, you get to higher level foods. As you can see, I'm not at the highest level yet. But what this does is it gives you more health and more stamina and more strength or quality, or I think they call it condition in this game. But like I said, I'll explain that all in detail in a later video. But right now, just going to go over real quick. You can make basic stuff, slightly more advanced stuff, and really good stuff. And you can also recycle things. In this particular moment, I only have certain things on me, but the more resources you bring over here, the more things you'll be able to break down. So like, if you had a bunch of iron ingots, you could break those down into their main components, the iron ore and the twigs, or tree branches is what they're called. You can break down the nails into metal, you can break down processed leather back into hide. Basically, it just reverses the processes and all that. So that's really handy. Sometimes you make too much of something and you want to get it back. And it's 1 for 1, so yeah, you don't lose anything. It's really good. Moving on, going over here to the craft bench. Here's where you're going to craft most of your other materials and such. As you can also see, I'm not quite fully on those yet either. Right now, I don't have that, so I will show you some of the things we do have. You can make cloth, rope, the trap machine engine. This is what makes the traps that kill the zombies work. Fuel, blah, 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 blah. You can also recycle things in here. But this is where you take, it's called the equipment bench. You build all of your weapons here. And you build all of your ammunition here. And you upgrade all of your stuff, weapons, and inventory, and all that. And yes, you can also reclaim things in this bench as well. Materials crafting bench, I believe is what it's called. This is where you process your wood into other lumber, your stone into other stone products, and your metal into other metal products. Raw metal into ingots, so on and so forth. You can make them into plates, chains, wire, rebar, all things that you need to make your structures and traps. And the different tiers of them. They have wood, metal, or wood, stone, and metal tier, and that's how you upgrade them is with this stuff. So, moving on to the research center. This is like your tech tree stuff. I have most everything done. I'd suggest not getting Novice Scavenger because I had it for a while and I had it all the way up to Veteran and it didn't really seem to make a difference. So I wouldn't waste your papers on that. I do suggest you get the food and the farming stuff up relatively quickly. Depending on what setting you play on is going to matter big time. But what these do is give you more health, stamina, and better conditioning, so you're stronger basically. But also you're going to have to go to your junior engineer and get at least this far. For the first couple of days, you only need to be at engineer this level because this is where you make the gears and the trap machines. You don't necessarily have to be the blacksmith right away. because they make like melee weapons and stuff like that. You can't make any bullet weapons that I know of, except for maybe you could say this is a bullet weapon because it's a flamethrower, which is pretty nice. But anyway, you can also upgrade your ability to do more damage to the zombies. I would suggest getting this as soon as you can, because obviously you're going to be killing zombies. And the rest of the tech trees are, they explain pretty much what they do. Depending on how you want to play and how you want your character to be, it's really up to you how you do this part. But in order to get those, you need to have papers. It just looks like papers, and they're research papers, and they give you those skills. But that takes care of the technicality parts of things. But you have to, all the different benches and stuff you have to use to make the products. This over here is the farm. This grows an assortment of random vegetables and fruits that you can harvest and make into the food that gives you the buffs. These over here are small animal traps. You need to trap the animals for meat and for their skin and stuff, so you can upgrade your backpacks and whatnot. These are the traps. If you go into your build menu, they'll be under this one. You can go up to either melee, ranged, animal, or special. These are the different types of traps you have. The most popular that I like are the manual or melee traps. I go generally with the barbed fence, the spike floor, the cutter, the guillotine, and the compressor. I do use the pendulum, but it's not my favorite, and the shredder is okay for a certain situation. If you want to make like a death maze for them to go through, the shredder would work pretty good for you. But I'll show you the combination that I use that I think works amazing. Right here, it looks pretty simple, but this is actually 8 traps on 2 foundations. Okay? The first one is the spiked floor trap. And then above you have the, the compressor is what they call it. I just call it a crusher. And then you have the guillotines on either side. Okay? The guillotines do massive damage, but they only have 10 rounds each. So that means you have to be a little bit more attentive to this type of a setup, because you're going to have to reload these rather often. And this right here is just a last line of defense type of thing. If they do breach the wall, we have a fallback area that we can fight from. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. But also I have these spike traps walling off everything where I don't want them to be, obviously. And they work amazing. They don't take a whole lot of damage. They do have one flaw, however, and that is the zombies go and hit them, and then they get popped up on top of them. They're not taking a whole lot of, they don't take damage as they stand on them. So like if one gets hit right here and stands on it, they can just attack this trap without being hit. And that really kind of sucks. So, but it doesn't happen very often, and if it does, that's where the human equation comes in, and you can shoot them and take care of that problem. Because one zombie, shooting one zombie versus 300 zombies, yeah, you can do the math. But also out here in the courtyard, as a last-ditch effort, is if they do breach the wall, I have these spiked floor traps in 4 square formation in 4 different areas. So that way, if they do breach the wall, you can run the big groups over these, and they will take damage and eventually die. All the while hoping that they're not getting too close to there, so you can keep your benches and all that running. If you die in this process, you will spawn back there. So you probably want to leave that area as soon as possible. You don't have to worry about dying in this game, though, because your stuff never despawns. So you can just die over and over and over again, and if you do, as long as the Horde eventually dies, you're fine. Now, granted, you'll lose all of your research papers and stuff like that. You'll have to redo all that stuff. But it's, you know, it's an incentive not to die, because you'll have to respec all your stuff. Also, you'll have severely debt to your health and your stamina and stuff. If you'll notice at the top right now, there has a little grayed out area. That means that I have been, I died once, so my penalty is I have less health and stamina to pull from. Also, the condition there is 1 down as well. And the way to get that back is you go and get your food, okay, and you make a meal or whatever like that. Hold on 1 second here. And this is one thing that you get from looting, is an energy bar. If you go ahead and eat one of those energy bars, it fills that back up. Now, not all food does that. Some food just fills the existing amount. If you take a little damage and you have a gray bar, it'll fill that gray bar, but it won't increase it any. And other foods will add on to what you have for full right now. Like if I ate a steak dinner thing that you can make, it gives me another 4 squares out of health and stamina, which is really awesome. But anyway, let's go up to the front here. This is the main wall, main defense, if you will. It's set up right behind this car parked lot, whatever. Not sure, but anyway. Right here is where they come from, usually. They come around this corner. They spawn down there, and they come around down here, and they go through here. Or they spawn down there somewhere, and they come up through here and go through there. Those are the 2 places that they come from. And from what I'm to understand in this game, that's the way that mechanic kind of works right now. So that's why I don't have very much defense in the back, hardly at all. Just a little bit to keep the riffraff out. But yeah, right here I have spike walls. Now, I did have this doubled up at one time, and more over here. But over time, it's been wore down. So I will be replacing those. The same with here. Over time, these ones have been wore down. That's why I put 3 layers there. But on to the main attraction here. As you can see, we have 4 ballista turrets and 3 flamethrowers. That is the front line, if you will. They are the ones that do most of the work in the beginning. And at the end, the flamethrowers are the big ones. They're the ones that really matter. But they have their drawbacks. You do have to keep them full of fuel. And one thing of fuel will not last you forever, for sure. It lasts you roughly about 1/3 of the Horde pushing in if you use it constantly. But the reason I have this set up like this is because the ballista turret has more range than the flame turret. That means that the ballista turret will kill them before they get here to where the flamethrower wants to shoot them. The flamethrower kicks on right about here where this bag is. That's generally where the flamethrower kicks on. That's about the range there. But the ballista turret will shoot all the way back here. It literally, as soon as they pop their head around this corner, it starts shooting them. So do all of the other ones. The farthest I've seen them shoot is over here, right in the middle of these 2 light posts or whatever. This is the farthest I've seen a ballista bolt go. Now, I don't know if they go farther than that, but they probably do. If one of them was back here, it would probably still shoot at it. Because most of the time, I don't even see the zombies in render yet, and they're shooting at the zombies. So, it's quite a distance. But, as you can see, there's 3 ballista turrets that got plenty of space to shoot at anything moving right here. So when they come from this direction, they pretty much get mowed down in this field right here. They don't really get much farther than that. But into the actual doorway here, this has got the spike floor traps on the bottom and the compressor traps on the top and guillotines along the front. Basically the same setup as over there. With this difference back here, it's got these 4 blade traps. Now the reason why these are important is because if they do get to this point and they've made it all the way to here, these will now kick them back into it. So they'll take more damage from here. So far, a few have managed to squeeze through, but they only take about a hit or two when they get through because they've taken so much damage to get here. So it's real easy to deal with them, even the big guys. But like I said, in the case of if they overwhelm this, then you can run them around into these traps and so on and so forth. Now, in the event that they were to switch the game up and they come from this way, basically what that would mean is you would have to control the Horde by running them through your traps up here. The ballista turrets and the flame turrets will be shooting them over here as well. So you do have to watch out for that, because they will shoot you as well. These are bird nests. You can get eggs and they attract birds. So, yeah. We got one that got through that way. As you can see, it's not going well for him. But this will help me demonstrate this tactic here. Every once in a while you will get a few that will be aggroed on you and come around like this. It's like a mini horde. But basically what it is they get aggroed because they're over there in the houses. And they can aggro through buildings and stuff. But 1 or 2 of them, it's not a big deal. As you can see, the ballista turrets were Johnny on the spot there. And this one killed a couple as well. So yeah, like I said, the back door, it needs a little work. We will be working on that eventually. But it gets very little traffic, so that is about as much traffic as it's gotten all week. But these animal traps here are essential to have. That's why I have so many of them. Because we need lots and lots of meat and hide to make the upgrades for your weapons and your backpack and stuff like that. But that's just a basic overview of the game. I didn't get into detail. I will be putting out another video in detail soon. And I'll probably start from scratch. And that'll be my scratch base videos. But if you don't want to watch that, you're more than welcome to come watch me on Twitch. I stream Monday through Wednesday, 12 hours from noon to midnight. And then Thursday and Friday, I stream from 5 o'clock to about midnight. Those are Central Time hours. So come on by to the Tom Grist Twitch channel. Anyway, have a good one, and I'll see you there. Bye.